What kind of movement are we building where we're saying Black Lives Matter, but the freedom fighters and the families are being left behind?
That's a damn good question.
Pascal.
What's up, y'all? It's your boy Pascal back at it again with another pop-up video. Be sure to follow me on Instagram and on Twitter, The Pascal Show. One word, hit that like button down below. And let's not forget to crush that subscribe button if this is your first time checking out this channel right here. Anyway, let's jump into this. Now, last week I did a video, a live show, covering this whole situation with BLM and how they've raised over $90 million. Dollars. $90 million, and how they were sitting there saying that they've been giving their money out, distributing the money out to certain places, but they've been holding at least $60 million, let's just say, okay? This is all speculation because the Associated Press did an article covering like, hey, they got a whole bunch of monies, lots of money, but they haven't been putting it out there. They haven't been giving it out to people in other chapters, other BLM chapters that could really use the money. You know, let's just say there could have been the black community could have really appreciated that $90 million that is just allegedly sitting around and collecting dust right now. Well, something just recently happened that I found very, very interesting, y'all. And it's right here in the article. Michael Brown Jr.'s father and other Ferguson activists demand $20 million from BLM after organization was revealed to have $90 million in donations last year. And I got a little video, and I'm going to show it to you guys here shortly, but here it is. Michael Brown Jr., and this is from my own city, okay? Michael Brown Jr., if you don't remember, he was one of the first, not the only black men that were killed at the hands of the police, but Michael Brown Jr., his death basically catapulted the Black Lives Matter movement to begin with. I mean, St. Louis is basically the origin of the movement. It started here basically right off of his death. Let's just be straight funky. So, Michael Brown Sr. has been let's just say a pillar in the Black Lives Matter movement. He's a gigantic icon when it comes to the BLM, okay? So, the fact that Michael Brown Sr. is up here saying something makes you think. You know what I mean? It's moments like this that make you go, okay? So let's check out this article, okay? Michael Brown Sr. is among the Black Lives Matter activists demanding $20 million from the Black Lives Matter Global Network Foundation after its finances were disclosed for the first time, revealing the group raked in $90 million in donations last year. And that's a whole lot of quiche, y'all. We did talk about this a little bit in a previous show. Okay, let's continue. The nonprofit shared its financial snapshot with the Associated Press amid accusations from local chapters that they are not being given any of the money. Brown, whose son is Michael Brown Jr., was killed by police in Ferguson, Missouri in 2014, says he and his advocacy group have been shortchanged by the larger BLM organization. Why hasn't my family's foundation received any assistance from the movement? Brown asked in a statement Tuesday. Who are they giving it to, and what are they doing with it? Brown Jr.'s death at the hands of a police officer helped kick off the BLM movement, which is very true. That is 110% the truth, okay? The International Black Freedom Alliance, which was started in St. Louis, is affiliated with Brown and is taking up Brown's case and demanding money from the Black Lives Matter, from BLM for local causes. Now, this is obviously one of the co-founders, Patrice Cullors, who wants to reinvest into black communities. This is one of the reasons why they're saying that the money's been withheld right now. So the alliance said the momentum from the 2014 unrest and the subsequent protest that local activists organized for several months after were the catalyst for the group being propelled into the position to receive $90 million, referring to BLM's take. It's asking for $20 million for groups in Ferguson, money that would help fund a foundation in honor of Michael Brown Jr., a community center in his name, organizing grants and programs for the local black community, it says. We just hope that the black lives in Ferguson still matter to the movement, said Tori Russell, a co-founder of the International Black Freedom Alliance. The International Black Freedom Alliance also said Brown has received only $500 from any group associated with Black Lives Matter. It isn't clear that the overarching BLM network has responded to Brown's demand, but at the time it disclosed its $20 million in funding, the Black Lives Matter Global Network Foundation said it was now building infrastructure to catch up to speed of its funding, and plans to use its endowment to become known for more than protest after Black Americans die at the hands of police or vigilantes. We want to uplift Black joy and liberation, not just Black death. We want to see Black communities thriving, not just surviving, the organization said in a report shared with the AP, the Associated Press. Now, the International Black Freedom Alliance recently put out a tweet that reads this: to this date, Mike Brown's father, said he has received only $500 from any Black Lives Matter affiliated group, even though they organized an annual commemoration weekend for their son, along with many other events with other families for healing and empowerment. So they're putting all these things together, these events and all that, and they have not seen one single red cent from the BLM organization. That is not a good look. Period. So the recent disclosure is the first time in the movement's nearly 8-year history that BLM leaders have revealed a detailed look into their finances. The foundation's coffers and influence grew immensely following the 2020 death of George Floyd, a Black man whose last breaths under the knee of a white Minneapolis police officer sparked protest across the U.S. and around the world. That growth also caused long-standing tensions to boil over between some of the movement's grassroots organizers and national leaders. The former went public last fall with grievances about financial transparency, decision-making, and accountability. The foundation said it committed $21.7 million in grant funding to official and unofficial BLM chapters, as well as 30 Black-led local organizations. It ended 2020 with a balance of more than $60 million after spending nearly a quarter of its assets on the grant funds and other charitable giving. But my question is, if you put out $21.7 million, where's the money for Mike Brown and his organization? Why haven't they seen anything? They've only seen $500? $500? For real? That's it? $500? See, this is where it gets really sketchy. Now, the thing is, y'all, there were other people that have been basically like rubbing it in everyone's face of like, hey, you woke idiots, see, you just got bamboozled, you just got run amok, led astray, etc. And it's starting to look like this, because at first I did this video. I'm going to be real. I'm going to be completely honest. I'm going to be straight funky with y'all. I did this show last week where we covered it. There was Nicole Arbor basically rubbing this whole thing, this whole situation in everybody's face, going, see, I told you, blah, blah, blah. You stupid woke people, you've been bamboozled. Well, here's the thing. I did a video. I responded to it basically saying, hey, Maybe they're trying to figure out where they're going to put this money. Maybe they're trying to figure out, hey, this money, we didn't expect such a huge positive response in regards to the amount of money that we were getting. $90 million. Look at what we could possibly do with this $90 million. The possibilities are freaking endless. Let's do something. Let's do something positive with it. Yet, there are some good points here. There's a lot of people out here, a lot of black people in the black community, a lot of black businesses that could really appreciate the extra cash. The black economy could be revved up with that $90 million. That's $90 million. That's a whole lot of quiche, y'all. And you're just sitting on it? Or are you just sitting on it? So, after I talked about it, I said, hey, you know what? Because, I was trying to give BLM and the organization the benefit of the doubt. And I'm going, well, maybe they're slowly rolling this money out, kind of like a stimulus check. Where's our stimmies? You know what I'm saying? But moving on. I'm thinking that they're just going to roll it out in time. Bit by bit, maybe they're about to build some huge building or build some headquarters in different places, start to figure things out so that they can divvy this money out properly. And then I see this video.
Greetings. I'm Tory Russell, Ferguson frontline organizer, and on the behalf of many activists in the St. Louis area, I'm joined with Mike Brown Sr., the father of Mike Brown Jr. Today, we hold Black Lives Matter accountable. The movement that is catapulted into the limelight has forgotten about Ferguson and the freedom fighters. Freedom fighters like King D. Seals, Edward Crawford, and Danye Jones have literally given their lives to the struggle, but are rarely spoken about and families are not taken care of. Brother Ali, Joshua Williams, and many other political prisoners from the Ferguson movement are incarcerated or have been and still has received no assistance from Black Lives Matter. What kind of movement are we building where we're saying Black Lives Matter, but the freedom fighters and the families are being left behind?
That's a damn good question.
Where is our restitution? Where is our organizing? Where is our building of a movement?
Mm-hmm.
We have groups like the Lost Voices and the Freedom Fighters here. And thousands of other youth activists in their 20s and 30s have been out in the streets protesting for months and months and years for years. Still forgotten. We're asking that Black Lives Matter leadership funds $20 million to Ferguson organizers, organizations, and community foundations to do the work. We're not begging for a handout. We're coming for what we deserve.
Word.
Today, as we demand the $20 million to go to Ferguson as restorative measures so we can continue what we started, here's what we'll be organizing. Annual commemorations around Mike Brown Jr.'s life, mutual aid programs, Black Panther-style programs and services to meet the needs of the people, community gardens and farms, and also organizing fellowships and stipends so we can fight white supremacy full time.
Right.
This is what we started in Ferguson, and this is what we will continue.
What is crazy to me is the fact that this has to even exist right now. That they even have to go out of their way to make a video like this. That they have to go to the very foundation, the very organization that they basically helped create, or at least push in the forefront. The fact that they have to go to them and even ask for some money, a little bit of a cut from the funding that they've received is beyond me. If this is really what's going on. Now, it's not like we're hearing fully from any of the heads of the organization that are basically saying, hey, this is the reason why none of the money's been given out. I want to hear that. I want to hear why. Why haven't we heard anything from the heads of the organization to say the reason why that $90 million or the $60 million, however you look at it, those millions and millions of dollars are sitting over here for a reason. And we're not going to touch it until we do X, Y, and Z. Give us a reason and show us the Carfax. You know what I'm saying? Show me something, a little something. Because you see these other organizations, the fact that you have Michael Brown Sr. stepping up and saying, yo, we haven't seen one red cent. We've received $500 so far, period, out of the 8 years this thing has even existed. Damn, that's insane. You know for a fact that there are other organizations, chapters that work underneath the BLM awning could really use that funding. Some of these people that work for BLM work it full time and they don't even make one red cent either. This could help fund employees, set up a structure, give people jobs. Shoot, this could also revive Ferguson, as he just said, as Tory Russell just said in that video. This could help revive. And they're just holding on to this money for what? Sure, $21 million, $21.7 million were given to certain things, some aids and funds and such. Great. But what about that other $70 million that's just sitting there? If it's 90, you gave out 21, there's a little less than $70 million that's just sitting there, chilling in the cut. Why aren't you cutting that up and giving it to more people so that other people can continue to fuel or fill that foundation with more money, and you just keep trickling it down? You start spreading it out. But they're not doing that right now. That makes no sense. The fact that they have to do a video and make a plea out of this thing is beyond me. It's bad. It's not good at all. And it pisses me off more than anything in the world, because this is BLM. You know, of all things, BLM needs to have their stuff together. You know, cross the T's and dot the I's and lowercase J's, man. And that's not happening. The fact that they have to reach out and say, hey, we are demanding $20 million for our funding because we haven't seen not $1. It's bad news, y'all. I wonder if they're going to start getting audited now, just so that they can find out exactly where the money is, exactly what they're spending the money on, where they're getting this money from. Inquiring minds would like to know. But I'll be real. This could be an opportunity for a lot of other. This could have been a really great thing for the black community and for the black economy. There's a lot of businesses that have been lost due to riots, pandemics, etc. And that money could have been used properly instead of just sitting in a corner collecting dust, if that's exactly what they did with that money. They got a lot of splaining to do. They most definitely do. Damn. Anyway, that's the video, y'all. Comment down below. Let me know what you think on this, man. Like, this one just... This one sucks, man. It's putting BLM in a really bad light. And it shouldn't. BLM should never be in a bad light. You know what I'm saying? But this is very sus. Extremely sus. Now that you got, I mean, come on, Mike Brown Sr., bruh. You got Tory Russell stepping up? Bruh, this is a bad look for BLM. Real talk. Comment down below. Hit that like button. Don't forget to crush that subscribe button. It'd be great to have you part of the Pascal Show family. I'd really appreciate it. Hit that subscribe button. Anyway. It's time to get going. Be good to yourselves. Be good to one another. And I'll see you guys in the next video. This is the Pascal Show. Bye. Oh, and check out the rest of my stuff. I got some other videos and stuff too. So go check that out too. Bye.
Pascal. You are now rocking with that dude Pascal. We be going wild.